Hey guys, how we doing? This is Tyler Bowles with Kingdom Connections, and I'm joined by Alan Williams. Alan, how you doing, sir?
I'm great, man. Here,
Oh yeah,
enjoying this day.
nice and warm,
It
starting to warm
is.
up some. You know?
Yeah. It's that season between winter and spring. What is it? Pollen? Is that how they say
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I know my car was coated in it this morning when I was on
Yeah.
my way in.
It's been crazy, man.
It really has been, and it's like that weird, like in between stage where when you leave the house, it's like 40 degrees, and then it's like
Yeah.
75 when you come home.
Oh yeah. Don't know what to wear. Layers, my friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Until even when you get like to the most base layer, it still is a little too warm, but then it gets a little awkward.
Yeah. But you get you got to keep it clean. You got
Right. Right. We don't want to be flashing people by any
Right.
means, right?
Amen. 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 Amen.
Oh goodness. Well, guys, we hope you're doing well. Speaking of the weather, that is a pretty good segue. We're gonna have more of a lighthearted episode today.
Oh,
So, with it getting warm, we are entering into the season of church, summer camp, vacation Bible school, all that fun stuff.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. So today, I know Alan and I have been in church for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
So we have some experiences with church camps and VBS and those things where things don't always go according to plan. And in the moment, it's frustrating, or it might even be a little embarrassing. But looking back, we can sit back and we can laugh, right?
Right.
So, how old were you when you first started going to church camp?
Probably vacation Bible school. Probably, I can't say that I've ever actually been to a camp.
Okay.
I have been on some outings and I have been to vacation Bible school. That was a regular thing for us. Probably since I was far as back as I can remember, it's probably about 7 or 8 years old. Which we were going to church before that, so I'm sure I attended some things before that. But that's when I really started, getting more involved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd say I don't know. I'd say I was probably about 6 or 7
Okay.
when I first started going.
Yeah.
Had some odd moments. That's for sure. Your thought process as a kid is not the same as when you're an adult.
Right.
And sometimes I think back to those moments and I'm like, man, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Like I know there was a instance in particular. So, okay, let me ask you this. Let me just throw this out there. Make sure I'm not by myself. Because if I'm by myself, I'm just not even going to tell this story. Did you ever go through a stage where like you got homesick a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, so not just me, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if me and you go through the same thing, at least somebody out there just went through it too, right?
It's a whole different episode, but I still, after so many days away from, I'm ready to go home.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But mine was like real bad, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know. Like I said, I was about 6, and I just started getting into that stage. Like I would even go to like friends' houses to stay the night, and I'm like, you know what? Forget this. I want to go home.
Yeah.
Well, the church camp we went to was in South Carolina, like 3.5 hours away. And I got down there and I'm like, we paid all this money. I'm like, you know what? I just want to go home. And it was like a week long, man.
Right.
And it was like the first night. We get set up and I'm just like, you know what? I ain't feeling it. We're done. I just want to go home. Like, I don't want to be here. Well, I go and I talk to my camp counselor, and they're like, buddy, you just got here. Like, there's nobody to take you home. And I was like, oh, just call my mom. She'll come get me.
Right.
And I was confident in that answer. Well, somehow, some way, somebody got a phone because, like we're little, we didn't have phones.
Right.
So somebody got a hold of my mom, and my mom was like, what do you mean you want to come home? I literally just dropped you off like 2 hours ago. Like, I hadn't even made it home yet. And I'm like, I don't know, just want to come home. And she's like, well, guess what? Suck it up, Buttercup. Welcome to growing up.
Wow.
So I got stuck there for a week. I felt betrayed.
Right.
And I almost drowned in the pool. That was another thing. That was a rough week of my life, man.
Did that make you feel like, well, is she coming back and getting me?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of like.
I was like, she don't even love me, man.
Just dropped you out. So here you go. See what y'all can do with him.
Yeah. I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do.
Right.
But
oh me, no, I like I said, I never did the. I done some lock-in sleepover kind of things. Never really had a camp, so to speak, growing up. Heard about them. Never really went to a summer camp. but I always did the vacation Bible schools and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's yeah, homesick. Just staying the night with friends. I mean, I experienced that, after so long. But then I'd be like, well, I better go to sleep because it's too late to do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I did have a lot of fun with lock-ins too.
Yeah.
I didn't get to do a whole lot of them because our church didn't do a whole lot of them.
yeah,
But the ones we had, it never failed. Somebody usually ended up getting their feelings hurt, and then like fist fights would almost break out in the parking lot. It's probably a lot of the reason why we stopped doing them.
right.
Because man, it never failed. Parents were getting called. Like it happened. I was in a couple of them.
Right.
Like just
Now, be honest though. You were wanting to come home. Is that how you got to go home? You played the fifth all out.
I plead the fifth for the sakes of being on camera.
Right.
Yes.
There you
Or
go.
or should I go? Yes.
Because you know who's watching. There you
Yeah. Yeah.
go. I understand. Isn't that funny though how it is growing up? And I think it's still that way sometimes as an adult. But it's funny how some of my worst like fights, whether physical or just verbal, was with my best friends and people that I hung out with all the time.
Right.
And like the next day we would be out, playing basketball again or whatever. Isn't that funny how that?
And that was always what started the fights too.
Oh, yeah.
Because like we were all competitive. So somebody somebody would just straight up get posted up on and get knocked down.
Right.
And before you know it, like the ball gets thrown down the parking lot. They're like, "What's up, man?" And then they end up fighting.
Right.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun until that happened, right? You get a bunch of little of I mean, honestly, let's just be honest. When I was younger, and I mean, I'm still competitive now,
Right.
but even more so when I was a kid, man.
Mhm.
I would oftentimes get in trouble because at one time they caught me red-handed. So when I was little, I had the idea. I was like, you know what? The basketball goal's outside in the parking lot. I'm gonna tell my mom. I'm like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom and wait until she'll look to make sure that I made it to the bathroom or whatever, and then she'll look back forward. Like I'm gonna wait until she looks forward, and I'm gonna sneak out the back door, and I'm gonna go play basketball. Now, that may have worked if it wasn't at the beginning of the sermon, right? Like if I would have waited until like altar call or something where you
Right.
got like 10, 15 minutes left, like that kind of makes sense, right?
Right.
Like, he's been in there for a while. Maybe he's just, doing his thing. But when I don't come back after 35, 40 minutes, people start asking questions. And so then my mom goes back like, man, is he sick or something? She goes back there, the bathroom door's open.
Mm,
She's like, oh, well, where's my kid at?
panic.
And yeah, so she goes out in the parking lot. I'm like mid layup, and all I hear is Tyler Patrick. And I'm
Mm.
like, I don't normally hear my middle name.
You're ready to say, yeah, that's the serious name.
Yeah. And I turn and look, and my mom's just bebopping down the parking lot, like fire in her eyes. And I'm like, I don't know if I should run
Right.
or just, stand here, because I didn't run.
Because eventually you got to face it.
She's my ride home.
Right.
Like, what am I going to do? Walk? So that was not a good day.
No.
I was grounded for a while. Wasn't allowed to play basketball at church for a while. Moral of the story, kids: don't sneak out during sermon to go play basketball.
Right.
Bad idea.
It is amazing to me as a parent how that panic can switch to like, middle name usage in an instant.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, I'm panicked. And where's my kid? And then all of a sudden, oh no, you didn't. And it's, but I cringe even when I have to write my middle name on paperwork.
Right.
Because it's like, I never used that name
Yeah.
unless it was official or something that I wasn't too proud of.
It's usually, for me, it's a legal document.
Yeah, right.
Right. Like, oh man, I don't like my middle name.
Yeah.
To my mom and my dad, who I know are probably going to watch this at some point. Why Patrick? I don't. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there.
There you go.
Trying to think like the best way to give this next story. So we had the bright idea one time again, same church camp, by the way. I went the next year,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to go home that time,
Oh,
but went the next year. It was me and like two friends from church at the time. It was a Church of God youth camp, and so like everybody from the Southeast all goes to this one youth camp.
mm-hmm.
Well, for whatever reason, we all got the bright idea, like, hey, when it comes lights out time, it's when everybody's supposed to go to sleep.
Right.
We're gonna have a pillow fight, and like the way that the bunk beds were, so it was like almost like a U-shaped room, but there was like the bathroom was in the middle. Like it was weird. Like if you imagine like a U shape and then like one room that comes up in the middle, that's the bathroom. So there's like 10 kids and a camp counselor that share one bathroom. But anyway, so the lights are out and we're all just waiting. Like we're waiting for the camp counselor to go to sleep. We hear him start snoring. Why we didn't think, and again, the kid thought process, why we didn't think that just because he couldn't see us, it doesn't mean he couldn't hear us.
Right.
We just let loose. Like we're all jumping out of bed. We're hitting people. We're hitting people that are trying to sleep, knocking people out of bunk beds. And that counselor jumps up. He's like, "What are y'all doing?" And we all run back and lay in bed. Yeah, nobody wanted to fess up to it. Nobody wanted to snitch.
Y'all ain't gonna make me lose my job. Right. I'm going for counselor of the year.
Right.
So yeah, man. Some of my best experiences, and I learned from all of them, was in these camps or not camps, but vacation Bible schools and things like that, and some awkward stuff too. Just some weird, some weird stuff. And I want to ask you this: what is a game or something that y'all did that you've only seen done in church?
Oh, dude, I could think of a few of them. One that as soon as you start singing the song, everybody's going to start doing it. Father Abraham.
Oh yeah.
So, but the way that we did it was you would have to like look, because there's so many different steps to it.
Right.
If you missed the step, and like a lot of times the whoever was leading it would call out something random. So if you get used to doing the same thing over and over, and you start doing something different, you're out. So yeah, Father Abraham. I'm trying to think. I had a few in my head, and then they just went gone. But Father Abraham was the biggest one. For whatever reason, I don't know what any of this had to do with VBS or Children's Church.
Right.
But there was one guy in particular who every time he taught, he would get done with his lesson, and then we would all make paper airplanes. I don't know why. And then he had a competition to see who could make the best paper airplane and whose would fly farther. And then if you flew it further, you got like some candy or something, or he gave you like $5.
Yeah.
So we're all just like taking construction paper, making paper airplanes, and hitting people in the face with them. We're ruthless kids, man.
Right. Absolutely. But
what'd you have in mind? What?
Oh no, I mean we done some silly stuff. We one that stands out, and I actually did it as a youth pastor too, because it just stuck with me. But like hanging donuts from a string and trying to eat it with no hands,
So, yeah.
that was an adventure right there, and needless to say, today I would not sign up for that game because it just is not as easy to get out of.
Right. Well, and there's somewhere on the Facebook page for this church, you will see me face down in a pie.
Oh yeah.
Hands were like tied behind my back.
Face down in a pie. Oh wow.
Yep.
Wow. I will say you are looking at the one-time winner of a cupcake eating contest, and I would weigh all of 100 pounds if I did. And that was when I was my teenage years, and I was proud of that, man. I wore that as a badge for a little while. And now looking back, I'm like, why did you eat all them cupcakes?
Right. Oh man.
But we did all kinds of stuff like that, and of course all the songs and the things like that. Good memories though, really good memories. And like you said, I mean, there were some awkward moments, but I tell you, I wish that everybody could experience those types of moments, because it's a community,
Yeah.
So I think I had a good time, but yeah, it was awkward, man. And like I said, met some of my best friends, my first crushes was in church, and if we won't name names on here,
no,
but some of my first crushes were in church, and it's funny because it was kind of awkward once those kind of passed.
Yeah,
it's kind of awkward, but we got over it when about the time somebody got hit with a donut or some crazy stuff. We forgot all about that again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no doubt. Now, did you do? And I don't know, like, because I remember I saw a meme. This was a few weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, so it must be just like a church kid thing. To impress your crush, did you ever like try to see how many folding chairs you could get in one arm at a time to show them how strong you were?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
so
mean, I'm a guy, man. I still try to empty the whole car with grocery bags. I mean, that's just who we are, right? That's what we do. Right. And I don't know. I think we're always trying to push the limits. But yeah, I've done that many times and I've dropped a few.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you always make sure that your crush never picks up a chair.
Right.
And you will make it a point, or at least I did, because I thought I was smooth like that. You'd always wait until they go to pick up a chair, and you're like, "Don't worry about it, I got it." And you've already got a whole armful of chairs, and then you like drop it on your foot. You always want to make it a point to go, "Hey, I'm looking out for you. I got you.
Right. Right.
I'm here for you."
I think I was a little closer to the chunky peanut butter than the smooth. I never was that. I never could get the smooth down. I had the right mindset, but never could get my body to function the way.
Right. No, me neither.
Right.
I mean, you heard my story with my wife when the first text I ever sent her. So I get it.
Right. No, absolutely. Well, God guided me for sure and kept me from a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, man, just great memories. Great memories.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good to think about them sometime.
Mm-hmm. Like I remember when I first started learning how to play guitar. Let me silence that right now. Sorry about that. Good night. Anyway, phone's always ringing. So I was at a church for a lock-in one time, and it was when I first started learning how to play guitar. Well, there was me and this other kid that we have been learning about the same stuff for about the same amount of time.
Right.
So we were in the sanctuary. And we saw 2 electric guitars, and we asked the youth pastor at the time, we're like, "Hey, can we turn the sound system on?" And he's like, "Sure, why?" And we just like had a shred off right there in the sanctuary,
Right.
and that was a lot of fun, man. Like I haven't talked to that guy in years, but I remember I saw on his social media the other day where like he's playing in church now.
Oh, wow.
And he's like one of their lead guitarists, and the dude is absolutely killing it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he absolutely obliterated me that night.
Right.
So good
That's
to see that he still, kept that trend going.
Oh yeah, that's
But
awesome.
between the guitar face-offs and trying to impress your crushes, and then there's so many things that when you think about church camp and lock-ins and VBS, like your first like instinctual thing is to go like, yeah, my kid's gonna learn about Jesus, and don't get me wrong,
They do.
they do.
Right.
If they're in the right place, they
Right,
do.
Right.
But there's so much more, like you said, it's about the community side of it, man.
Yeah.
Because you learn more about your friends and your peers that like you don't see on a Sunday morning or a Wednesday night.
Right.
And I attribute to a lot of my like how social I am
Right.
to that. Because I'll be honest, if it wasn't for like church trips
Right.
and for VBS and for church camps, like I wouldn't know how to socialize.
Right.
Because man, like that one in South Carolina, you weren't near your parents, you weren't near anybody, and a lot of times they
right.
separated in age groups, and you might be in a totally different like group than what your friend would be.
Oh wow.
So you're dropped off with 15 kids that you've never met before, and
Right.
you're with them for a week. So you
Right.
either like huddle in a corner and you just do your thing, or
Right.
you make friends.
Right.
You know.
You learn real quick which one to kind of stay away from. Right. Y'all
Right.
pray for him.
Yeah. And there's always one that stunk too.
Mm.
Like.
Well, I know we're, in our adolescence, I'm sure with all those kids around, there was nobody smelling great.
No.
I'm sure. Either that or they just kept a can of body spray in their pocket or something.
Dude, like that was always the worst.
Oh, it was.
We had a kid.
Be foggy in the restaurant.
Yes, man. So here's the thing about it, right? Like, I don't knock on people for their hygiene, like for obvious different reasons. Like sometimes they may not be able to, like whatever the
Right.
case is. But when you're in church camp and you got access to the same shower that I do, and I pay attention, and you like do what I like to call a 2-minute drill, and you in there just like rinsing yourself off, and then you just douse the bathroom in Axe body spray.
Yeah.
like me and you gonna fight because you still stink.
Right. Absolutely.
And like, you sitting there at night and you're like, lights out and you're like, I smell Axe and body odor the whole night. And you wake up and it's musty.
Right. Stay tuned for the next episode, The Smells of a Child. No, I'm picking. But yeah, man, it's, I think that's like you said, the community of all of it. And I think that just having those stories to tell, and it kind of got me out of that mindset where I think we got to get away from this church is stuffy mindset. Not saying that we need to be footloose, fancy free, but at the same time, especially as a kid, I was glad to have those experiences and know that we could have fun and not to get too serious, but what I mean, just that we could have fun and there was actually joy. I actually wanted to. I got to the point, like you said, at first it was different, but I got to the point I wanted to go.
Yeah.
When is Vacation Bible School? When are we doing that again? But and my hat's off to all those people who had to put up with me all those years. But I'm thankful for it too. I mean, it was in those environments that I learned my first memory verses. I learned my first, had my first encounter with God. So, I thank God for that kind of stuff. And so, I think like I said, sometimes we take ourselves too seriously. And I think, you got to remember sometimes. I heard a guy say one time, said, he's getting on a kid for sleeping in the church over and over. And finally it's like, they are in church. They could be other places. So
no doubt.
Be thankful for what you have and build on that. But man, let them enjoy those things and drop them off. Hey, parents, drop them off.
Y'all go have a date night.
Right.
Like we're good with it.
Right.
Teach him about Jesus. He'll come back quoting John 3:16. It's all good.
With a dodgeball face.
Yeah.
Where he got hit. Right. Right. No, it was good times though, man. And like I said, awkward times, and it was in some of the awkward moments in my life anyway. So you add that on top of it, and you had 20 kids going through that same awkward, from being a kid to a teenager, and there's the awkward moments and changes. Your voice is squealing, and it's funny to think about now.
Yeah, no doubt. Man, all right, so this is actually a recent one. So when we and I guarantee you the pastor's going to hear this and start laughing because he's already going to know. So when we had VBS here, I don't know, Dad started pastoring here like, I don't know, might have been 2 years in. Right. And they brought up the idea like, hey, let's do a Vacation Bible School. Well, I got tasked with running sound and media for all of that. Me and another friend of mine were back in the booth. And he grew up on like Veggie Tales, right?
Right.
And I was picking on Pastor because I was like, it's like, how is it you gonna have Vacation Bible School and Veggie Tales is nowhere in it?
Right.
Like that's a staple in a Christian household, right?
Especially Larry the Cucumber. He's my favorite. I like him.
Yes, I like Larry, especially when he was a superhero.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really learned that. I learned that. Somebody's gonna get on to me. No, but I really picked up on that when I was when my kids were little. So that tells my age. That stuff wasn't there when I was going through all this stuff. We kind of entertained ourselves a lot.
Yeah,
which got us in trouble a lot.
No doubt, man. All right,
but anyway,
I got in so much trouble for this. So Dad was like, "Nah, man, we ain't gonna do Veggie Tales. Like, we got a program in place." I'm like, "Okay." Well, the friend that was in the sound booth with me at the time, he's like, hey, man, he's like, you ain't a real man unless you start playing the theme song over to PA. I was like, really? You don't think I'll do it? And he's like, nah, I don't think you'll do it. So I cue it up on my phone and Pastor's giving like his closing remarks before they dismiss for the day. And I started it out real quiet and I started fading it up and you just hear bonk, 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 bonk. And immediately everybody looked back at me. And then there was a couple kids. This is how you know that some people grew up in a Christian household. And then you had a couple kids that were going, if you like to talk to tomatoes. So it's not just me, okay?
Right.
And they loved it.
That's a good altar call song, right?
Yeah.
Bow your heads if you like.
Do we have a show for you?
Right.
But I got in so much trouble for that. All I know is still my defense, the kids loved it.
Right.
They laughed. It was a good way to end.
There you
I
go.
still got in trouble.
There
I
you-
haven't so that I ran sound for VBS on that one. I didn't do it. They didn't allow me to do it after that. They revoked my privileges.
Tyler Bowles' name's up again. Nah, skip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I can tell you we've had some awkward moments, and karaoke nights. I don't know if y'all ever did that. We did that a few times.
We didn't quite do karaoke nights, but what we did do was like we would put say somebody would connect their phone to like the TV or something, because like you know how like you can connect your phone to YouTube and you can
Right.
play stuff. They would like put a song up there and you'd have your back to it, and then like you were split up into teams, and then you'd had to like guess the song, guess the artist,
Right.
and whoever could do both of those the fastest would win the round. And,
Wow.
You know,
That's cool.
and then we had like the loser would have to like eat a can of sardines or something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Goodness.
Yeah, we had some wagers out there, man.
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough.
I didn't lose.
Right.
I didn't lose. That's all I know.
I mean, I know the disciples ate fish, but I don't think it was sardines like that.
No, I'm convinced the sardines ain't a god. They are used for way too much mischievous stuff.
Right.
Like, you ever heard of like where people will put like the sardine juice and stuff like intentionally just to make it stink?
Yeah.
All I'm saying, that they just I'm just convinced that sardines
Right.
are just not of the Lord. I think that was part of what Adam and Eve was told to not eat.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. I can't
all
say I'm a
jokes.
fan. I mean, if you like them, you like them. I mean, my hat's off to you, but I just can't. I can't do it. I can't. Do it.
No, me neither.
Which I say that, and I can't even taste them. Like, I've not tasted them. Don't want to taste them.
It's the smell for me.
Don't have no desire.
Yeah. If the smell wasn't as bad, I might could
Right.
stomach it.
Right.
But because like I ate a minnow one time, and that wasn't that bad. But you give me a can of sardines,
Man, that's gonna have to be a short right there. Just that. I ate a minnow one time.
yeah.
I say you just told the whole world. No, I'm picking.
Hey, that was also on a church trip. Thank you.
I cannot say. I'm probably on a day or two. You're not a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was. Hey man, I'll give you $5 if you eat a minnow.
Oh, $5. Okay.
And then somebody made. This is gross. But we had a guy one time. They were grilling hot dogs, and it was matter of fact, it was the place that the church normally goes fishing at.
Mm.
Well, somebody that thought it'd be a funny idea to put night crawlers in somebody's hot dog.
Oh man. Oh no.
Dude took a big old bite, and a worm came out.
Mm.
It was
Bless your
bad.
heart. Bless your
It
heart.
was bad.
I went into this thing thinking I had some church stories, but man, you got me beat.
Look, I did some stupid stuff. I still do stupid stuff. Like, that's why I'm not
Well, I
trusted.
mean, yeah,
That is why I'm not trusted.
I trust you, brother.
Because I will get people in trouble.
Yeah.
100%.
And, well, and I, we've gotten some trouble together too. But
Right.
anyway, that's a whole different
Like,
episode.
men's retreats are the same thing.
Yeah.
People, like, if people don't know where I'm at, they start getting curious and they're like, what's he up to?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Looking around, right?
Yeah.
No, but good times, man. Good times, and you can laugh and you can have fun in God and in the Lord, and I enjoy it. I really do. I can't imagine my life any other way.
No,
Really
no,
could
me
not.
neither. Me
Could not.
neither.
So
And the sad thing is I don't know, man. Like, I don't see as many churches like doing camps and stuff like they used to.
they don't. It takes a lot of work.
It does.
I mean, it's a lot of work just to do your standard vacation Bible school. I mean, there is so many hands involved in getting that done, and yeah, you don't see it as much. You really don't, because it does take a lot. But I'm telling you, the memories last a lifetime.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just VBS. I mean, it's lock-ins.
yeah.
I mean, it's like youth movie nights.
Oh yeah, or just playing basketball after service. I mean,
Yeah.
So we got some stories about that too.
It's really it's like we said at the beginning. It's really about the community aspect of it.
The main thing is, whatever you do, you have to have the round butter cookies, like looks like a ring, and Kool-Aid. I mean, that was kind of like the staple. when I was
Specifically
growing up.
Tampico.
Yeah,
Like, you either had to have Kool-Aid brand Kool-Aid or
Mhm.
Tampico, like the orange juice that
Yep.
didn't have the pulp in it.
oh yeah, yeah.
And then a lot of
That was a that's like standard issue church snack. you
yeah.
know? So,
But then, like, our church would have to like do hot dog sales and stuff like that to like keep stuff funded. So what they would do is they'd get the Tampico down about halfway down the jug and then fill it with water.
ooh, ooh.
So you still had the
They're just
Tampico
kids.
flavor.
They're just kids.
Yeah,
Okay, right,
yeah.
right. I say I do remember that, but I remember like lime Kool-Aid. I don't know if that was like the cheapest brand or cheapest flavor or something.
Hey,
at the
lime's
time.
delicious.
Well, now, as a kid, I was like, y'all can't think, anyway. But yeah, like the, lime Kool-Aid and the butter cookies. And y'all comment out there if y'all remember that, because I know I'm not the only one, but that's like the
Yes.
staple when I was growing up was those cookies. I remember 'em. And every time I see them today, I think about my church days. And and then I hear them nowadays coming out talking about, oh, we had meatballs, or I'm like,
Right.
what?
Like, where was that at
what
when
in
I
the
was a
world?
kid?
Yeah, give them kids some cookies and some Kool-Aid. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, out there eating
Sugar
pizza
'em up
rolls
send 'em
and
home.
filet mignon and like, oh, we had the
Right.
finest cuisine in
Yeah,
children's
that's
church
right.
today.
Right.
Like, man, we
Oh,
had
it's just a snack. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? That's supper.
That was a whole meal.
Right.
we over here like we were surviving off of Tootsie Rolls and cookies.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. Now they coming out with to-go boxes. So, but that was funny though. You were talking about food, and that just kind of, I remembered that, and the hard bubble gum. We used to ride a church bus for a little while with some friends of ours, and so when we'd go to their church, sometimes we'd ride a bus and go to their church. And that's how they would come around like once a week to the house and give all the kids like this bubble gum. And I remember that hard, big old piece of bubble gum, hurt your mouth to
Yeah.
chew it. Yeah.
And then it lost its
loved
flavor.
It, but we'd stand in line to get it. But,
And it lost its flavor.
Yeah, it did.
Once you finally got to where you could chew it, it lost its flavor.
and then it got like
seconds.
bigger and bigger in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember those things. But yeah, that's got to be a staple. I think somebody, I need to find a shirt with like the butter rings and the Kool-Aid jug on it, and just say church camp, or something.
Yeah.
I think that would.
Man, all these T-shirt ideas, I need to make some.
I'll tell you, man, we need to just. I'll make a shop behind the house. Let's do it.
I'm gonna get one that says I ate a minnow one time.
yeah, I think we need that, right? I'm telling you, a short, and that needs to be the caption. I ate a minnow one time.
And that's all it says. It's like a little 3-second short. I ate a minnow. Got $5 out of it though.
So at least everybody knows that we don't hold nothing back, right? We tell it all.
Nah. And I may or may not have been part of the people that that talked old buddy into, and I'm not mentioning names on purpose, because they still don't know where it came from. I may or may not have been part of the party that was tempting the other person to put night crawlers in the hot dogs. So, because like what they would do, right, is they'd like put it in the bottom of the bun, and you put your hot dog on top. You wouldn't see it.
Right.
You take a bite, and it just whoosh.
Like, dude, I just won $5. I give you $1. No, I can see that. I'm telling you, good times.
But even with all the funny moments though, like on a more serious note, I can confidently say that I probably wouldn't be in church right now if it wasn't for the experiences I had when I was a kid.
Right.
And because now granted, we weren't eating minnows every day.
Right.
But
Right.
looking forward to going to children's church and
Right.
learning about God at such a young age,
Yeah.
it really it instills into you at an early age.
Oh, it does.
And if I
Right.
didn't have that, I don't know where I would be. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
just,
Right.
because as a kid, I didn't have the greatest attention span, and admittedly, I still don't.
What'd you just say?
Yeah, huh? But if I had to sit and listen to like a regular sermon as like a 5-year-old kid, I'll be honest, like I'd have lost interest.
Yeah.
And in children's church, they made it like so engaging and so entertaining, and
Right.
it stuck.
Right.
Like I still remember us it was yesterday, us doing like Bible trivia,
Right.
like stuff that made it fun.
Yeah.
And the competitive side of me would like jump up like, ooh, me.
Right. Right. Right.
But if I didn't have that, man, I don't know where I'd be today.
Right. Well, and I think, I think it sets a precedence in our lives as we grow older too. I mean, just even now, it's like, we're in battle most of the time with something, issues here, issues there, something going on. I mean, we live in a world that's just 90 to 100 mile an hour all the time, and all we want to do is just take a breath, and it seems like we can't get it. And so when we have that opportunity, that community around us, I thank God for the men that we're around, and man, just got some guys I'll have a bad day and they'll say something that just crack me up, and
Mhm.
and it reminds me that hey, this is not some stuffy thing. There's joy in serving the Lord.
Yeah.
There's joy in serving the Lord, and even as a kid, I didn't always see it because I had those moments. I'd rather be doing something else, like you said, sneaking out, and I wasn't brave enough to sneak out
I only did it once.
because my mom would say, she'd call for my dad, and then I knew it'd be, I'd be going back into church with, tears in my eyes. Everybody be thinking, man, he's under conviction. No, he just, but anyway, that's a whole different episode. But man, I'm thankful that we can have joy in this thing. It's not, and we need that, man. We need those moments. I need the moments where you're behind me, like, hey, brother, arm in arm, let's fight. But I also need those moments when you're like, just you bring a cheerful atmosphere into an otherwise stressful, day or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. So it's good to have that, and our kids need it. We need it. That's why community in church is so important.
Mhm.
Listening is great. Thank y'all for listening, but we need community. We need to be around people and get connected with people. It's been mentioned here behind the pulpit many times of how important that is, and just cannot stress that enough. And hey, your kids will have these memories too. I promise you. If you bring them up in church, maybe not the eating the minnows and some of the stuff that Brother Tyler did, but but they will have some memories to draw from. And this has been a good trip down memory lane, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. It's
Yeah.
been awesome, and I hope those that's been in church, I hope that kind of sparked something in you, and you started thinking about all those memories you had, and at the same time, those that maybe you're new to church, let that show you that there's joy in this thing.
Yeah.
It's not just all rules and beating banging, because we do right because we love to do right. That
Mhm.
it's not because we're just because we're commanded to.
Sure.
I want to live for Him because I want to. And I want to, and I want to be involved in this thing, and I don't want it any other way.
Yeah, no, me neither. Me neither. And I just want to encourage the parents out there too.
Mhm.
Uh, please, please, please bring your kids to church.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, there is a church out there that's going to have children's programs, and I would urge you to put them in those. And
Right.
because I know, like, some parents, because I've heard this argument too of, well, I don't know what they teach out there, and
Mhm.
you're not wrong.
Right.
But either way, I can tell you, I've never seen where, like, a children's church program, like what they were teaching,
Right.
I've never seen that go so off the rails that
Right.
kids come back and, like, they're not even, like, in the right
Right.
lane. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because at a young age, like, regardless of what denomination you're in,
Right.
at a young age, all the denominations are going to agree upon, hey, we need to teach them about Jesus. We need to teach them about the sacrifice that he gave. We need to try to lead them to the Lord, and that's
Right.
really what the main focus is.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's one of the more, like, I don't want to call it like simple topics, but
Right.
it's like the foundation of the gospel.
Yeah.
All denominations still had this foundation.
Right.
Now, where it goes after that into the theological thing, like, that's where
Right.
it gets a little more.
Yeah.
But on the base level for, like, kids' church,
And you go into that.
Yeah.
You go into that. So, but yeah, and too, I mean, I think that the parents being plugged in and knowing, then that gives you an assurity. You know what I'm saying? I knew the brothers and sisters that I was around, so I knew the kind of people that they were around
mm-hmm.
as far as leaders go. So, I mean, we all should always, I think, take note of what's going on in the kid's life, ask questions. But because you never know when they get the wrong idea or whatever. But at the same time, they're not going to get what they get here out there, no matter where you take them.
Yeah.
You drop them off at the Y, you drop them off everywhere else. They're not going to get what they can get here. And I thank God that we have things in place even here at the House of Hope. If you're close by, bring your kids. And I say bring them. You come too. We got some stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
But come and see us. But yeah, get plugged into the community of believers. Period.
Yeah.
So,
and I heard a saying one time. I'm real bad for hearing sayings and never remembering who says them. I think it's part of my short attention span. But they said, especially when it comes to kids,
mm-hmm.
there's two opposing there's two forces that are fighting right
Mhm.
now. And you're going to have the kingdom of heaven, kingdom of darkness, and they're fighting. And ultimately what it boils down to is they're fighting for your children because the enemy is trying
Right.
like it's nobody's business
Mhm.
to steal those kids. Because if they can stop the generations
Right.
from coming to the knowledge of Jesus,
Oh, yeah.
then that's going to further the kingdom of darkness. So for you parents out there, I just want to urge and stress the importance here is somebody somewhere is fighting for your kids.
Oh, yeah.
And you can either choose to let it be that, the kingdom of heaven is going to be established in
Right.
your child's life.
Right.
Because if you don't take the proper precautions and the proper procedures to make sure that that's the case, I promise you something else,
Mhm.
somebody else is going to get their attention.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we have to, and that's one of the reasons we have to make it a place that they want to come to. Now, our bodies always are going to come against us. They do as an adult, and they definitely do as a kid, and say, "Hey, I'd rather be outside playing. It's a sunny day," or whatever it is. But there'll be those moments in church where they'll be outside. They're not always inside. So I mean, but I'm trying not to get in a squirrel moment and go way off rails, but I mean, I really think get that foundation in them because I believe the Word of God, and the Word of God tells us that if we will take the time to make sure that the truth is planted into them, right, that we will see the benefits of that. That they will not depart from that. They may go do some things. They may do whatever when they get older. Hopefully not. They don't have to. But at the same time, if they do, that truth is there. That seed that was planted is there. And I promise you, whether there was moments in my life where I wasn't where I needed to be, but I could still share those memories and laugh. And in those memories was the truth. So it was still there. And so that truth never went anywhere. And I believe that's why I'm here today. No doubt. Because of that foundation that was planted.
Yeah,
So,
wouldn't trade anything for it.
oh, no. Now I wouldn't do some of that stuff again.
I don't know. I would,
But I would watch other kids do it.
Right.
And laugh and
because exactly what they're going to do
That's
too.
right,
It's like,
that's
man,
right.
they took that play out of my playbook.
Right, that's right. We just need to find a summer camp around here somewhere and just kind of crash and watch it.
Right.
I think that would just be hilarious.
Right, like, hey, I did the same thing that
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
did. Watch this.
Yeah, go ahead, do that. No. Oh me,
Oh man, we're gonna get in trouble.
we're bad influences.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. Do you have anything else that you want to add,
Hey,
brother?
summer camp season, baby. Summer camp season. Get out the cookies and the Kool-Aid. Here we come.
That's it. That's it. Well, if you have some crazy church camp stories, please
Right.
let us know. We
Share
want to
with us.
hear we want to hear your experiences because I think everybody's is a little different.
Oh yeah.
Like case in point today, bet you didn't have a single idea that I ate a minnow one time, huh?
No, I did not.
I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt.
I'm telling you. If you don't, I'll get one made for you.
Right.
All right. We'll even put the Kingdom Connections logo on it.
Have a little minnow
Right,
on the
there
top
you go.
of it.
Minnow.
And people ask, no, it's a Jesus fish.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
Gotcha, brother. That's awesome.
That's funny. Well, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you in the next episode.
All right, bye.
God bless you. Hey guys, real quick before I let you go, this is Worship Pastor Tyler Bowles, and I'm also one of the podcast hosts here. I just want to take a minute to invite you to our services if you're in the Lexington, North Carolina area and you don't already have a home church. We have services on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. and Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We have programs in place for all ages, so please bring your family, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, have them bring their kids. We would love to get to meet you and connect with all of you and partner with you and believe with you for the things that you are believing God for. Because something very powerful happens whenever we gather together in one mind with one accord, because the Bible says then a suddenly happens. And I just want to agree with you and bind together with you for the suddenly moments, for those breakthroughs you may need. So if you were in the Lexington, North Carolina area and you don't already have a home church, The address is 117 Harris Road, Lexington, North Carolina, 27292. Again, that is 117 Harris Road, Lexington, North Carolina, 27292. We would love to see you. We would love to see your family. We would love to get to know you. We love you. We appreciate you. We are praying for you. God bless.